Somebody on here recently told me that nurses just follow orders from doctors. And so, in honor of that person, I thought I could talk about a couple of situations that have occurred that I've helped prevent from turning into worse situations. One time we were setting up to intubate a patient, and I asked the provider which medications they were wanting to give the patient, and the provider requested 100 milligrams or 10 milliliters of propofol. This patient only weighed about 40 kilograms, and they were also getting other RSI medications as well. And so I said, hey, are you sure you want to do 100 milligrams? This patient weighs 40 kilos. Typically, we only do 1 milligram per kilogram of propofol, sometimes a little less, sometimes a little bit more, but still 100 milligrams for this tiny patient was going to be a lot and was going to tank that patient's blood pressure. And the provider was like, ooh, yeah, no, we're not going to give that high of a dose. Let's just stick with doing 4 milliliters. Another time I had a patient that I came on shift and they had increased workup breathing and increased oxygenation requirements. It wasn't too much, but it was still a noticeable change from the prior shift. And the provider came in and said, hey, let's get this patient out of the ICU. There really wasn't anything keeping that patient in the ICU, but I said, hey, I'm concerned about this patient. Their workup breathing doesn't look that great. It's worse from yesterday. Are you cool if maybe we keep this patient in the ICU another day? And they said, okay, sure. We ended up intubating that patient a couple hours later. One time I came on my shift and a provider had ordered the ketamine sedation protocol for an ICU patient that was not intubated. This patient needed ketamine more for pain management rather than sedation. The provider accidentally ordered the wrong protocol, but the sedation protocol allows for you to give a lot more ketamine than the pain protocol, so it was a good thing that I caught this mistake. This is about 1% of the things that I have encountered throughout my 9+ years as a nurse. Nurses don't just follow orders. We are the last check, the last resort, the last advocate for a patient before something is given to them or something is done to them. So don't doubt nurses. Don't say they're less than providers. We are coworkers. We work together. We have different roles, different responsibilities. Both are equally important.